Hi, this is Andrew. This is my new crime story video I'm doing this afternoon. This one is of Mississippi death row inmate Richard Gerald Jordan, who's pretty much been on death row in Mississippi since 1976. And of course, the men on death row in Mississippi are held at the Mississippi State Penitentiary in Parchman, Mississippi, which of course is called Parchman Farm. But as I said, Richard Gerald Jordan's been on death row there since 1976. Richard Gerald Jordan was convicted in the abduction and murder of the wife of a Gulfport Bank executive, Edwina Martyr. Apparently, Richard Gerald Jordan, a Vietnam veteran, was broke and wasn't making much money, so he plotted to abduct the wife of the Gulfport Bank executive, Edwina Martyr, to extort a ransom, and unfortunately, Jordan killed her. And he was sentenced to death. He was sentenced to die in the Mississippi gas chamber, which was the method of execution at the time. But of course, the last time they used the gas chamber in Mississippi was in 1989 of Leo Ernest Edwards Jr. In fact, of the 23 they executed in Mississippi, the first four were in the gas chamber of Jimmy Lee Gray in 1983, Edward Earl Johnson and Connie Ray Evans in 1987, and Leo Ernest Edwards Jr. Then I read it was in 1998 when Mississippi decommissioned the gas chamber, leaving only lethal injection as the method, which has carried out 19 executions in Mississippi from 2002 to 2022. And of course, Richard Gerald Jordan, he's had 4 retrials, but all of them still ended in a death sentence for him. And of course, he's one of 5 prisoners who have exhausted all of their appeals. Of course, one of them is a woman, Lisa Jo Chamberlain, held at the women's prison, but they haven't requested an execution date for her. But the 4 who they've requested execution dates for on death row in Mississippi at the state penitentiary in Parchman are Robert E. Simon Jr., Richard Gerald Jordan, Charles Ray Crawford, and Willie Jerome Manning. And now, after his last appeal was rejected, the Mississippi Supreme Court set a date of execution for Richard Gerald Jordan, and his death sentence will be carried out 10 days after his 79th birthday, which will make him the oldest executed in Mississippi since they brought back capital punishment. Because in 2005, Mississippi executed 77-year-old John B. Nixon Sr., who was part of a murder for hire plot. He was a hired killer, hired to murder someone's ex-wife after that wife left that guy and married someone else. And as I said, John B. Nixon Sr. was hired to kill her, and he was sentenced to death for it and executed in 2005 at the age of 77. But I'm not certain when they'll set the execution dates for the other 3, Robert E. Simon, Charles Ray Crawford, and Willie Jerome Manning. But they set June 25th as the execution date for Richard Gerald Jordan. And it'll be carried out at the Mississippi State Penitentiary in Parchman, Mississippi, also called Parchman Farm. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Just let me know what you think. Thanks.